comfortable seat, go ahead and bring yourself into one. Maybe you're sitting cross-legged. Maybe you have your legs oriented another way. Could be sitting up on your heels, for example, or sitting with your legs straight out if your knees and ankles are not super comfortable with cross-legged or sitting on your feet. So find your comfortable seat. Allow your eyes to close and just begin to guide your attention inside your body. So start to check in with how you're feeling today. Maybe you have a lot of energy as you're coming to your mat. Maybe you're feeling kind of tired. Just check in. And then allow your next few breaths to be a little bit deeper. So you start to guide your attention even more into your body and into the present as you focus on breathing slow and steady. All right, then we'll bring our palms together in front of the heart. Interlace the fingers, press the palms forward and up. And begin to reach up through one hand and up through the other side, left to right, side to side. Elongating from hand to shoulder to low back on either side. All right, and then free the hands, release them down to the floor. And then just walk your right hand out a little bit and lean into it. Take your left hand to your left shoulder and start to circle. I'm checking in with that left shoulder as well as everything that's attached to it. So maybe you sense into your chest on the left side, the neck, the back. And change directions. All right, then take your left arm up alongside your head. And as you reach with your left hand, start to squeeze and release the fingers a few times, as well as rotate through the wrist. A couple of times each way. All right, so the next time you inhale, lift up. And exhale, release your left hand down. All right, slide the left hand out. Same thing, right hand to right shoulder, and then start to rotate. A couple of times in one direction. Again, sensing not just your right shoulder, but everything that's connected to it. And change directions. All right, take your right arm up alongside your head. And as you reach with your right hand, squeeze and release the fingers, as well as rotate through the wrist. A few times each way. All right, and then deep breath in, lift up. And breathing out, release your hand. All right, let your right leg straighten out at an angle. And then we'll take the right hand to rest on the right leg and just let it slide down as far as is comfortable. So you'll get to a point where you start to feel just enough stretch in the back of your right leg that you want to pause there. It starts to become maybe a little bit intense. All right, and then move the left shoulder back in space so that you can look out in the opposite direction as that right foot. And then sweep your left arm up alongside your head. All right, take 3 more rounds of breath. Now, as you inhale, lift up. Take that left hand to the floor behind you, and then take your right hand over to your left knee. Inhale, grow tall. And exhale and twist toward the left. When your left shoulder doesn't go back any further, pause there, and then turn just your head to look back over towards the right. And then keep your head turning nice and slow, looking back, and then looking back over towards the right side. Continuing to have this sense of elongation through your torso. So the top of the head is reaching up, low back is pressing slightly forward, belly is moving with the breath, face and jaw relaxed. All right, take one more round of breath. And then gently release the rotation. Turn the torso back over towards this right leg. Take one hand on either side of your right leg and just start to walk your hands out. And as you start to fold over your right leg, if you are sitting up on a cushion like me, you might start to hyperextend your knee, and that might be uncomfortable for the back of your knee. If that's the case, if you have a little pillow or a cushion or a blanket, you can tuck that underneath your knee to give yourself a little more support. What I like to do is just kind of stick my other foot underneath my right thigh, so it kind of does the same thing. So one hand on either side of the right leg, walking out until you find just enough sensation that you can be held into the present of that sensation. And take several rounds of breath. All right, take one more round of breath. And then gradually walk your hands back in, lifting your torso up. And then we'll switch sides. So go ahead and take your left leg out, fold the right leg back in. And remember, the leg is out at an angle, could be quite a bit out to the side or slightly forward, depending on what's comfortable up in your left hip. And then just walk your left hand down your left leg. Move the right shoulder back in space so that you're looking out in the opposite direction as your foot. And then we'll take that right arm up alongside the head. Hmm. All right, take 3 more rounds of breath. All right, and then slowly come on up. Take that right hand towards the floor behind you. Take the left hand across to the right knee. Inhale, grow tall. And exhale and twist over toward the right. And when that right shoulder stops, pause there from your shoulders down, but then let the head begin to turn back over toward the left. And then keep your head turning to look back and then over to the left, moving nice and slow. Slow, steady breath. All right, one more round of breath here. And then begin to unravel the twist, coming back to center and then turn all the way to face your left leg. Take the hands to either side of the left leg and then just start to walk the hands down until you find just kind of a mild to moderate amount of stretch. Again, if you start to feel like the back of the knee wants a little bit of support here, you might stick your foot underneath the back of your left leg. Or if you have a little blanket you can roll up to tuck underneath the knee, that can also be supportive. Slow, steady breath. All right, take one more round of breath. And then just begin to walk your hands back in, lifting up. And then we'll transition onto hands and knees. So as you come onto hands and knees, bring your hands underneath your shoulders. And then your knees underneath your hips. We'll move through a few cycles of cat and cow. So as you breathe in, let the belly drop. Lift your head and your tailbone. As you breathe out, tuck the tail, round the back, chin toward the chest. Again, as you inhale, belly drops, head and tail lift. Exhale, tuck and round. A couple more times like that. Just move at your own speed. All right, so bring your torso back to neutral. Take your knees close together and then lift your left knee up and out to the side. We're going to start to circle through the hip. Try to keep your arms straight and your torso relatively still. So left knee now draws a big circle in space. All right, change directions. All right, and then lift your left knee up and out to the side again. Straighten the left leg and then take your left foot down to the floor. All right, now try to keep that left leg straight, meaning it's okay to bend your knee if you need to, but try to keep the leg straight. As you now pick up your left leg and cross it over the right leg, dropping the toes to the floor. Briefly curve the spine to the right. And then torso back to neutral. Pick the left leg up again. Keep it straight if you can, all the way out to the side and drop the foot down. Again, pick the left leg up, cross it over the right leg, drop the toes, briefly curve the spine to the right. And we'll do that one more time. Torso back to neutral. Pick your left leg up all the way out to the side, foot down to the floor. And then last time, pick your left leg up, cross it over the right leg, drop the toes, curve the spine to the right, and pause. This time, staying in the sensation of lengthening or elongating the left side of the torso. All right, now as you bring your torso back to neutral, step your left foot forward to your left hand. So we're stepping into a short lunge so that as you lift your torso up, you have your front knee over your ankle and your right hip over your knee. Take the right hand to the left knee and then sweep the left hand forward and up and back and down. Rotating a few times here through the left shoulder as the torso twists and untwists a little bit. All right, one more big circle. All right, take the hands to the floor. Step your right foot forward into your forward fold. Start with your knees bent. Lay your belly on or close to your thighs. Release the weight of your head. Shake it gently, yes and no. Now, if it's difficult to bring the torso to the thighs, you might start with your feet even wider apart or the knees even more bent. So, when we bring the torso and thighs close together, we provide some support for the low back in this forward fold. Now, if it feels comfortable in your body to straighten your legs a little more, that's also fine to do. But start from a place of ease as you relax into the shape before deepening it. All right, 3 more breaths. All right, bend your knees enough to bring your hands all the way down to the floor, and then step your feet back in space as we come into downward facing dog. Hips up into the air, feet about hip distance apart. Start to bend the knees, drop one heel toward the floor. Switch back and forth a few times. All right, release down to your knees. Untuck your toes, briefly sit back towards your feet into child's pose. All right, as you inhale, rise up onto your shins. So lift the torso up and you're down on your shins. Take your arms up. And then as you exhale, twist to the left and open your arms out to the sides. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, reach up. Exhale back to child's pose. So hips back towards the heels, hands to the floor, head toward the floor. All right, now as we inhale and come up onto hands and knees, we'll do the second side of the sequence that we've done so far. So just start by lifting your right knee up and out to the side. Start to rotate through the hip a couple of times in one direction. Remember, arms are straight here and torso is relatively still, so try to bring the movement into the hip itself. All right, change directions. All right, now as you lift your right knee up and out to the side, straighten the leg so the right foot comes down to the floor. All right, now try to keep your leg relatively straight as you pick your right leg up and cross it all the way over the left leg. Drop the toes. Briefly curve your spine to your left. And then pick the right leg back up. Lift it as high as you can. Drop the right foot to the floor out to the side. Again, pick it up, cross it over, drop the toes, curve the spine. One more time, pick it up, take it out to the side, drop the foot. And cross the leg over, drop the toes. This time pause in the side bend, looking back at that right foot, sensing all the way up the right side of the body. All right, now as you bring your torso to neutral, step your right foot forward to that right hand. So stepping into your short lunge as you lift up, front knee is over the ankle, left hip over the knee. Take the left hand to the right knee, sweep your right hand forward and up, and back and down. Rotate several times here through the right shoulder. All right, one more big circle. All right, both hands to the floor and step your left foot forward. Come into your forward fold. All right, second time in this posture, you might have slightly less of a bend in your knees. It might be the same amount. You might take your feet wider or closer together just to change all of the sensation that you experience. Make it just a little bit different this time. Again, let your head and neck be nice and heavy and relaxed. You might shake them yes and no. All right, walk your hands up the fronts of your legs, rising all the way up to stand. As you come to stand, we'll shrug our shoulders up, take them back and down. Again, shrugging up and back and down, and then one more time up and back and down. All right, so we'll do breath of joy here. So step your feet a little bit wider than your hips. Going to have some buoyancy, some bounce in your knees. And in breath of joy, we'll breathe in 3 times and out 1 time. So as you breathe in, you'll take arms forward, breathe in again, take your arms out, breathe in a 3rd time, take your arms up. And then as you exhale, you'll bend your knees and sweep your arms back. So 1 round of it looks like this. All right. So we'll do this roughly 15 to 20 breaths. I never count. We just go until we stop. So again, have some bounce in your knees so that it feels like your whole body is doing the movement rather than like flailing your upper body around. So let it be the whole body involved in the movement. All right, so landing into your feet. Have a sense of being grounded and rooted through your feet. And let's begin. Last one. Now just pause, folded about halfway forward, knees bent, forearms resting on your thighs. Let your energy settle back down a little bit. All right, so as you rise back up to stand, step near the back of the mat. Feet about hip distance apart. Landing back into that sense of being grounded through your feet. And then as you inhale, we'll find chair pose. So hips go back, knees bend a little bit, float your arms up. Exhale as you fold forward and walk out to one more downward facing dog. Hips up into the air. All right, and then release down to your knees. Come all the way onto your back. As you come onto your back, hug your knees into your chest. Give them a gentle squeeze. Little rock from side to side. All right, let your knees fall over to the left side. And then sweep your right arm over to the right. Let's see which way your head wants to turn, left or right or somewhere in the middle. And then make this rotation as comfortable as possible. So, if you do have props at home, or if you even just have a blanket or a pillow and you want some support either between the knees or underneath the knees, a little bit of soft support like a blanket or pillow or block or bolster if you have one, feel free to use any props that you have. And as you let yourself relax into this twist, where does your attention go? What sensation are you aware of? Are there any particular thoughts that are floating through your mind in this moment? All right, take one more round of breath. And then to make it easy on your low back, just guide one knee back to center at a time, slowly rolling back onto your back. And then we'll cross the right ankle over the left thigh. Bring the legs in toward the chest, reaching through for that left leg. Now, if it's not comfortable for your body to grab all the way through to grab your left leg, you might just grab that right leg. You can hold on to your foot and your knee and just gently draw in this way, which may or may not even include that left leg if it's not comfortable to hold on to the left leg. You can just hold on to the right leg. All right, 3 more rounds of breath. All right, after your third breath, release the legs, let them come back together, and then this time they drop over to the right side. Bring that left arm back over to the left. Again, make your rotation comfortable for your body. So if you want a prop or a blanket or pillow, either between the knees or under both knees, feel free to set yourself up in that way. And see which way your head wants to turn as you relax into the twist. All right, then make it easy on the low back. Guide the left knee back to center, followed by the right knee. And then we'll cross the left ankle over the right thigh. Bring the legs in, reaching through for that right leg. And remember, if grabbing all the way through for the right leg isn't that comfortable, just hold on to the left leg itself. That's really the one we're trying to stretch in this posture on this side. Rock a little side to side. All right, now as you release both feet down to the floor, step them a little wider than your hips. As you step your feet wider than your hips, then start to sway the knees side to side, letting them drop in and out as far as they're able to. All right, and then with the feet still wide apart, drop the knees in toward each other. Let your hands come to rest on your belly and take 5 rounds of breath. And so after your fifth breath, begin to roll to one side and then press yourself up into a seat. As you come back up into your seated position, bring our palms together in front of the heart, bowing to the light within ourselves as well as each other. Thank you again for practicing with me today. I'm going to do this every Saturday this month at 8 a.m. Central. So see you next time. Bye bye.